Hello there. In this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to create the contact us form using the form type, which is the most useful method in creating forms in Symfony. I highly recommend to use the form type because you can reuse the forms so many times you want in your project. Start by creating the form type itself, and to do that we go to the form part of our namespace and we create new PHP class. I'll call it my contact type, and I'll use the namespace to come with it. So now I have the class barely created. I need to use two extra classes. I got this page open. Again, this is the 2.3 book for Symfony. You can visit that website, it's very useful. So those two classes I need to use. Copy them. Copy. And stick them under the namespace. The next thing we do is to abstract type, extend the abstract type. Abstract type, you should find it here, just to make sure. Okay, and the next thing we need is the public function. I don't know why the ID telling me it's an error, because I can't see any errors. There you go, the error disappeared. So we have, I borrowed the code again. I borrowed the code from this website. I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. I want the name, and I want it to be of a type text. I don't want that part, but I want to add email of a type email. I also want to add a subject of a type subject, and I want to add a text area. Let's call it body, and of a type text area. And I want the value for the button submit to be called send. And I want the name to be retained. We'll call it my contact. Now I have the form in place, the form type in place. The next thing to do is to create the controller. In the controller we will create a public function. We'll call it my contact action, and I wanted to again to retain the request, and I want the controller basically to retain a twig. So I'm gonna create a twig. I'll call it my contact.html. So now I have my contact. Let's just borrow a few codes from here and put it in my contact widget, and let's enter body. Now we ended the block and we have created the twig. I will be returning two variables. First one, name. The second one, I will return the form view. And in the pages controller, now I just copy this from the previous function. Now let's stick it here. But we call the twig. Make sure you change it to my contact, and we retain the form and the form create view. But we haven't used the form yet. It hasn't been initiated. So let's initiate it, the form. Also make sure now to use the form we need to use it, to call it basically. Use self content, that's the namespace for it, and it's under form, and it is my contact type. See it here. So now we have initiated the class. We can use it. We'll say form equal this create form type. Okay, the first one. The type here, it is, we'll call it new my contact. See it, it's here, my contact type. So now we have the form. In order for the form to be submitted, we will need the request form handle request. The name, we'll initiate it. Let's call it before submission. And now we can use if the form is valid. If form is valid, we'll do something. We'll say name equal form get key name get data. So now we will after the person is submitting, the name will be we will get the name from the form itself. Now we have created three. We have created the page controller, the twig, and my contact type. Now the final thing is to create the routing. The routing, let's again copy that and let's insert it here. Let's call that routing my contact, and it will be the URL my contact, and let's the controller we created is my contact. Now I have all the elements in place. Let's go to our website, localhost, let's check the page my contact. Hopefully things will be working. Load type subject. Okay, couldn't load the type subject. It will be under the form type my contact. Why? not subject. Oh, sorry, I meant a simple array here. The type we wanted text. There's no type subject in Symfony, so that's my mistake. Let's reload. Now here we go before submission. Now after we submit, we should have the name, and because we said it's email, it has to be email. If you enter anything else, right, email, okay, it shouldn't validate because the email is not. Yep, it has to be an email. And let's submit. Here I should write name. Yep, so fun. Now I'm not gonna go to show you how to do the rest after you validate the form. It's more or less the same process after that, after we created basically if you look at the previous example we done in 2 and 3, we called the Swift message new instance. So basically you can now get all the data for your form like we did in the previous example in the site contact action, or we did in the contact action for the page. So basically it will be more or less the same process for the Swift mailer, but make sure you get the data through the form get data, not through the request directly. That's it really. This is how simple it is to create form in Symfony using the form type, and I advise you to use it because the form can be reused again and again in your application. Thanks for watching.